Bobbi Blass. We'd be ever so grateful if we could make contact with her dad, Robert. Often went by the name Bob, as most Roberts do. And of course he passed away in 2003 on October the 31st. Oh, in Albuquerque, USA there, and he was and he died from cancer, sadly, and also Bobbi there says she's got a cancer diagnosis as well, so that's always not too good, is it? Anyway, I wondered what if Dad had a message there, and if there's anything. She's whether they're having trouble with a 15-year-old moving back in with the biological dad there, and all that sort of thing going on. That's a bit of stuff going on, isn't it, that we don't really need. Let's have a word with Dad and let's see if there's any messages. If there's anything he's got to say or whatever. So what I'll use for this, we'll use these mediumship cards here. Each card has a pre-written message on it, like a sentence, and of course, whichever cards that are picked by Robert there, he can he'll pass the message on. We shuffle the cards, and then Robert's spirit helps manipulate them, put them in order. So, because they're pre-written messages, of course, it means that he'll pick the card with the messages or the sentences that closely say what he wants to convey, and of course we try and paraphrase it to accordingly to how we feel what's going on. So first of all, we commence by just shuffling the cards, and as we do, we just ask for Bob to join us. A Spirit of Robert, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Robert, through these cards and move among us. Have your message for your daughter, Bobbi. Spirit of Robert, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Robert, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Robert, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Robert, through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Robert and all absent friends. And now we cut the deck, and as you can see, where the deck splits is where it's thought to be at its most energetic point. So we'll just place these cards just to the side here where we can get them, just where you can see them, and then we'll just deal out, initially we'll deal out 3 cards, which is, as I said before, like a beginning, a middle and then an end. Of a statement, isn't it, in that regard, and then we'll just see what goes on for there. So let's just settle down now, and we'll just flip the first card, and as we do so, we flip it nice and steady, nice and slow there, out of respect for Spirit. We flip it nice and slow, respectfully, out of respect for Robert. And now we have the first. That's a nice one, isn't it? Got a rainbow on it. Let's just see what that one. Just saying, I'm so much better now. I suppose, really, Robert, that's good news, isn't it? That after what you've been through and what you went through up to 2003, up to October there, that's nice to hear, isn't it, Robert? Because we thank you for your energy and thank you for joining us and making that abrupt entrance. I'm feeling much better now. And that's okay, isn't it, Robert? Like that, like the rainbow there. It looks nice, doesn't it? As if it's somewhere over the rainbow, although you can't see what's over the rainbow now, unless you know something's there, something better maybe. And there is usually, isn't there? Because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there though. Like Bob, isn't it, Rob? Or Bob, because we can't see it doesn't mean you're not there. And I suppose it's a similar sort of thing. But the main thing is you're feeling better, and that's nice, isn't it? That you should pick that card for the first one to come out, just to let Bobbi know that. What else have you got to say here, Robert, about this? You're feeling much better now, and you just want us to know that the earth is our school. That in that regard, that it's our training ground, isn't it? I always say the university of life, in the sense that while you're on this earth, you're learning, and maybe, of course, maybe with what sent you to the Summerlands, maybe research into that, cancer research, whatever. Maybe the earth is our school and we can learn to try and prevent what sadly took you. Maybe, of course, I suppose when you've got a health condition like that or whatever, you do tend to, I suppose, become focused on that and suddenly become its champion. I don't know, but either way, Robert, it's not much fun, is it? I want to pull just the next card just to see what else he's saying here, and we'll just flip the next card there, and that's a nice one, isn't it? He's just saying there that I was met by so many loving people. I'm much better now. I just want you to know, Bobbi, that I'm much better now. The earth is our school. We're always learning, and I just want you also to be reassured that I was met by lots of loving people, lots of people, loving people, and we're all together now. I somehow think he's saying like the rest of the family. Although there is actually a card in here that mentions that is with the rest of the family. Nevertheless, I somehow feel as though this is saying the rest of the family. I don't know why. I'm going to pull another card out. I feel like number 2. I feel like 2 coming out. And then let's just see what the next one is there, as he's just saying there. That's the stairway to heaven thing. It's a bit like the reverse side of it, isn't it? And that one is just you've nothing to feel guilty about, Bobbi. I just want to let you know that. I want you to let you know that I'm much better now. Yes, the earth is our school, and okay, I was learning when I was there. You were learning also. We're all learning, and I just want you to know more than enough that I was met by lots of loving people, and people I know, members of the family who've gone before as well. I was met by, why saying your gran? I don't know why your gran. I don't know what that's about. Why did I think of that then? Because we usually say gran, and the Americans say gram, don't they, for some reason. I suppose it's that grammar, isn't it, or something like that. You're saying gran, I don't know what that's about. I've just got that in my head, though. That could mean anything. That could be anything. It's just, when you sort of something, I was thinking of that then. But nevertheless, he's just saying I was met by lots of loving people, and I just want you to know that you've got nothing to feel guilty about. Don't go blaming yourself. This is not your fault. It was the illness that killed me. It's not your fault. And okay, you can say to yourself, well, is there anything else we could have done? Like, from one extreme to another, suppose, saying, is there more money we could have raised for research that could have just found the cure of it just earlier, or could I have got to the hospital quicker, or could buying one more flower for the bedside have done some difference? Like, could I, by knocking 3 times on the table before I went out, could that have changed the whole world? It can't. At the end of the day, we like to think these things. Obsessive compulsion sort of tells us that. Tie your laces every time you go out, undo them and tie them up again, and all that sort of thing. But whatever you did isn't going to change anything. It's meant to be. I want to pull the Saturn card out now there, just I suppose jesting a bit with that. We shouldn't really jest about things like that, really, should we? But it's just giving that sort of example that you can't really blame yourself for things that aren't your fault. It's illogical and it's silly. And he's just saying, yes, okay, we can remember the bad times, but he wants you to he's just saying, he's just saying here that remember me by the happy memories that we created. And I want to put something in italics, the we, in the sense, remember me by the happy memories we created, you and your dad there, that we created together. Not the sad memories that were created by the illness, because I'm much better now anyway. The illness is in the past, and I'm okay now, and that's the main thing, isn't it? Yes, we live and learn in the sense that the earth is our school and that, but nevertheless, either way, I want you to know that the earth is your school. I want you to learn. If you go into medicine or whatever it is, if you've got anybody you know who goes into medicine, or if you know, whatever it is you want to learn to do, for maybe to champion some cause, whatever, then do it. If you just want to give a bit to a cancer charity every week, in my memory, do it. That's up to you. But just remember, I was met by lots of loving people when I passed over, and we're all together again there. And you keep saying your gran. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell that's about, but I keep thinking that. I keep thinking he's sort of hinting that he's saying it again. You're saying it again, aren't you, Robert? Or I think you are. Anyway, you might not be. Could be just me. But nevertheless, if he's saying, well, I think he is or not, because he keeps coming to my mind, or not, he's just saying you've got nothing to feel guilty about, because how can you feel guilty about me? Putting that question, put that question to you. He seems as if he's saying, I want to put that question to you, Bobby. Why would you want to feel guilty about me feeling better now? Why would you want to feel guilty about the earth being our school? Why would you want to feel guilty about me being met by loads of loving people, including you know who? Why would you, I don't want to say it again, why would you want to feel guilty about you having nothing to feel guilty about? Why would you want to feel guilty about remembering me by the happy memories we created? I'm sure there might have been sad memories we created, and I shouted at you and told you off now and again. I must have told you off now and again when you left or whatever, but so what, you know. But nevertheless, we created happy memories together, and the sad memories of the cancer that killed me, that's in the past. It's not happening, because I'm feeling better now. And if I'm feeling better now, that's all that matters is now, isn't it? What happened then, we can't define ourselves by what happened then. We can only define ourselves by what's happening now. And that's in the past now, so you don't have to feel guilty about it. There's nothing to feel guilty about. I want to pull another card and I don't know why, although I pulled those two that I wanted. Maybe things come in threes, I don't know. So I've got to have 6 or 9 or 12 or something. I don't know. Let's just pull this one more card that he feels as though, yes, I think he sensed something's just happening there. He just picked the card that says tears cleanse the soul. I think that's self-explanatory for now. As we're speaking, maybe as you're watching the video, maybe that's just been picked just by him there, hasn't it, Robert? Just so he can let you know that he knows, and that don't worry, it's good to let go. And with that, he knows. Do you see what I mean? Save. What I save the best till last, but just save the acknowledgement that yes, you're watching it right now, and I know exactly what you're doing even right now as you're watching it. So even though it may be the last card that was pulled, maybe he was one of those people where he always saved the best till last, or something like that, and pulled the punchline just at the right moment. The timing was right. I don't know, but with that. Bob, I think we'll wrap up for now. I feel as though that was the last thing you just wanted to say. I think you may feel guilty yourself now that you've probably pushed it just a little too much there, and might have upset Bobby. I don't know, but it's not really upset, is it? It's just helping to let go. It's just clearing the air, I suppose. Clearing the air, as we often say. But that's usually an argument that does that, isn't it? But laughing and joking apart now, what we'll do, we'll just get the other cards now, the rest of the deck. And we thank you there, Robert. Thank you, Bob, thanks, Bob, for your presence. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your energy, and thanks for your frankness, and thanks for that message for Bobby. Just that reassurance that it's nobody's fault. Things happen. Shit happens in life, doesn't it? And it's often nobody's fault. But now it's not happening. You are feeling better now, and there's no need to feel guilty about something that's happened. If we can feel guilty about something that's happening, we can then do something about it. But doing something about something that's happened is really shutting the stable door after the horse is bolted, and that's a bit too late then, isn't it? But it's never too late to let go, is it? And never too late just to release it and not move on. We don't want to move on. We don't want to get over it. We just want to learn to cope, don't we? And by that, I think that's all it is, isn't it, Robert? So what we'll do, until next time we meet, it was very pleased to meet you. It was very nice to have this little chat, as you would say, through the energy of the cards that you've left for us. Thank you again for your time, for your energy, and we just know that love is the law, love is the bond. Merry did we meet, merry do we part, and merry may we meet again. Blessed be to Robert and all absent friends. And we just place the rest of the deck on top of Bob's cards. And as we do, just close our eyes and visualise a door wide open with a bright light shining through the hole of the door, the portal. And then we just imagine that door closing very, very slowly, and the light fading very, very slowly. And as it fades, it goes out, and we return back to the darkness, and we open our eyes, and the rest is silence.